Hello, and welcome to Lockdown Learning with Tragic O'Hara. So, last week I done a live stream on the Facebook group. Again, if you're not part of the Facebook group, links in the description, asking what we should maybe do next. Last week we used BandLab to make some music. I was really impressed, if you couldn't tell through the video, how good it is, for doing stuff. I've been using it on my phone to make just music while I've been sitting on the couch kind of thing. I done a live stream on the Facebook group and I asked how would you feel about trying to write a whole song, every single bit, and I'll take you through the process and then you can maybe do that. And people said yes, so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start today with lyrics, but I've got a couple of disclaimers before we go ahead and do this, right? The first thing is, I am not an educated man. I'm not an English teacher. My spelling is atrocious. My handwriting is probably even worse. Just bear that in mind when we're writing lyrics. I don't worry about spelling. It's more about getting the idea down. If you look through, did I even bring any of my books with me? I thought I did. I've been writing lyrics for a long time, right? That there is books. That's just some of them. These are books. I had them out for another video I'm making. These are books of lyrics from... I don't want to show you too much because these are my innermost thoughts and feelings of a teenager, so maybe some of it's a bit... I don't even want to relive it. But, as you can see, there's lots of songs and drawings and different things without showing too much. But I've been writing lyrics for a long time, and the spelling's never really bothered me. Because no one sees it. They only hear you say it, and I pronounce words wrong a lot as well, but I never use them in songs. So that's the first thing. Not an English teacher. This is not an English lesson. There will be things I get completely wrong and I'm not smart enough to have Googled them beforehand. And the second thing is, this isn't how I write lyrics, okay? This is how I work with groups of people or individuals who have never written lyrics before. This is how I get the ball rolling. The way I write lyrics is I kind of busk something out on the guitar. I'll come up with a riff or something that I like, and then I will babble nonsense over the top and just sing random nonsense, and something will stick out, and then I'll jot that down and base everything round about that. So basically, when I'm writing lyrics, I have a melody first and write to the melody. But that's not how everyone does it. Writing lyrics for the first time is hard enough without saying to someone, right, start singing something and then try and write lyrics to it. That's a whole different step. So I thought the best thing to do is, the scariest thing is looking at a big blank bit of paper. So the way I teach groups to write lyrics, or the way I work with individuals, when I'm doing songwriting workshops with young people and stuff, or adults, I sit down and I use this technique to come up with ideas. Now, I'm using my iPad purely because it's easy to capture the screen. That's it. Just use paper. Don't worry about that kind of stuff, right? The back of a cereal box will be sufficed. You just need a pen and a bit of paper for this. Oh, that's a lie. You need a pen, a paper, and a book, right? But I'll explain that later. You've been warned, I will get some of this wrong. I will use words that I probably don't understand and make myself look silly. But it doesn't matter. Just write something. The meaning will come later and all that sort of stuff. The best thing to do is get something down. And once you've got something down, the rest of it will come easier. The first thing you're going to need is a book. Just a random book. Doesn't matter what the book is. It can be any book, right? I've got books in here that I pretend to have read, but I haven't. So I'm going to pick a random book off my shelf. Now, I can't stress enough how important it is to just be random. Don't overthink it. Don't think, oh, that book will have interesting words with it, and it don't, because that's going to poison the entire thing. It needs to be random, just random. So, to prove how random it is, I've picked this Modern Coin Magic book, right? Now, there's books up there, like Tom Waits' autobiography's up there, Bob Dylan's Chronicles is up there, Queens of the Stone Age, The Doors, all that stuff. But if I picked, I could go, I'll pick that one because there's going to be some imagery and stuff in it. It's random. Has to be random, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use this book to generate random ideas so that we can start to fill the page with words and start to come up with lyrics. And when I do this with groups, the meaning comes later. People start to draw meaning, and then what happens is your brain does this really clever thing where the next time you look at words, you start to generate more ideas based on the idea that is already been created. It just flows. So randomness is your friend. Okay, there are 355 pages in this. Now I'm looking at the camera right now, and that is 8 minutes and 50 seconds, so 58, right? That's the random number 8 minutes 50 seconds. Added to the 50. 58 I said, right, so we're going to pick page 58. Page 58. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 paragraphs. Now I'm going to look at the camera and whatever number's on that is the paragraph I'm going to use. 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 lines in that paragraph. So I'm going to look at the camera again and whatever number it is, we're going to use that one. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 words on this. So whatever one. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So you can see there, maybe the word is missing. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that word and we're going to write it down. And this is where my very bad English is going to come in, right? So missing. What we're going to do now is we're going to take this word and talk about it. So in the group, I would talk about what the word means and the connotations. So I think connotations are something that makes you a word. What other words a word makes you think of? Like, so say the word was, I'm looking here on my computer, there's the word smart there, so smart, intelligent, kind of other words that have the same sort of meaning or what. Now, I can't stress this enough, there are no wrong answers. Like, this isn't maths. Like, 2 plus 2 will always be 4 in maths, no matter how much I argued with my teacher. It's always going to be 4. There's no wrong answers. If you think something, then it's right. That's it. So don't stress that bit. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to say, like, the word missing makes me think of lost a poster, like missing posters, like in It, for anyone that's seen it. Posters, missing records, because there used to be a shop up in Glasgow, wasn't there, called Missing Records. So do you see what I mean? Just writing different words that word makes you think of. Like, so missing, found would be opposite of missing, so that would make me think of that. Missing, lost. If you're missing something, you would miss someone. Like, if you're missing someone, like, you would feel like you want them. You wanting, like, so, like, lost, posters, records, found, want, missing you, missing, gone. Let's just come up with 2 more. Search, because you go looking. Right, here we go now. We've hit a vein here. Looking, turn that into searching. Right, okay. So from that one word, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 words now. Out of the 10 words, some are better than others. Okay, some are better than others. Let's be honest, right? So we'll pick the best ones. We'll pick the ones that we think are the best. Maybe you think are more, you can say more about than the others. So like, records doesn't work. So let's move that. Posters doesn't work. But there's no bad ideas, because if you're sitting in a group of people and you've said missing records or something like that, it might spark something in someone else. Like, that's the thing. There's no bad ideas. And anytime I do this, anybody opens their mouth, I write it down. Because you'd rather have it on a page than not, essentially. Right, so I'm going to pick 3. So I think that lost, let's take lost, let's take found, and let's take searching. In fact, let's delete that ing and keep it search, right? From there, what I like to do is take the first word lost, and we just think up rhyming words for lost. Right? So again, but there is wrong answers here, let's be honest, because some words don't rhyme with others, right? You just put down whatever, right? So lost, cost, frost, exhaust. Getting complicated here. Right, let's do that. Let's go for found, round, pound, sound. Some are easier than others, obviously. Sound, ground, mound, round, pound, sound, mound, ground, found. And we'll take search. Search is a hard one, isn't it? Search. Yeah, let's not. This is the other thing, right? I want to leave the mistakes in here because, see, to be honest, don't force it. Like, just let it happen, right? Just let it do when it needs to do. So if the search doesn't work, just get rid of it. I'm not doing that. Use there, like, you don't really, you isn't a really interesting word, but I guarantee you the word you is going to appear in a song somewhere. And let's do it again. Let's do the same thing again, right? So do it again. We'll look at the phone. 1627. Oh no, I need to do proper maths, don't I? Do you know what? Let's just do this. There's a page. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, do you know what? Let's just. Right, that's the paragraph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would pick the one with the most lines, wouldn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you know what? Let's just look at it. 16, 1, 6, 5, 1, 1, 6, 7, 7, 13, 7 or 12, add 1, 13, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Try to do it without looking at the words, because what happens is when you look at the words, you start to go, oh, that's a good word, I could use that. So let's, where was I? What did I say? 13, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13. So what did I say? 8, 1, 2, I've lost it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, so here you go. Right. The words the, okay? Now, when that happens, this is what I do. I look at the word on the left, and I look at the word on the right. Now, the word on the left is on, and the word on the right is nest. So say it wasn't on, because on's quite a short word. There's not a lot we can do with that. I would say, pick just to someone random, pick left or right. So we need to kind of go right, so nest. Okay, now, this is what I'm talking about, because from the word nest, we got the first word which was missing, and we were talking about words like lost. We could have put the word leave in there, and then this is where your brain starts to pull all this stuff together, because leaving the nest, which straight away reminds me of that Beatles song on Sgt. Pepper's. She's leaving home after living alone for so many years. Is that Beatles song? See what I mean? So nest, we'll put the word leave in there, because like you're leaving the nest. What else? Birds, because birds live in nests, don't they? Nest is a home. A nest is safe. It's a safe place. A nest is made of twigs and stuff. Nest. So a nest is like, I know that if I'm editing a video, the word nest, if you nest a subsequence, it means that you take all the video clips and you put them together. So you collate the material. So you group. So there's a group in a nest, isn't there? And you're young when you're in a nest. So kids, children, that sort of stuff. So, like, there we go. There's some good words. See what I mean? So it's starting to pull things together. So we take 3 of these. So let's take the word leave, let's take the word home, and let's take the word safe and start to expand on them. Now, you can either go straight for the rhyming stuff, or you can start to expand more on these words. But as you can see, we're starting to get things down on a bit of paper that was empty less than 20 minutes ago. And this would go faster if you're part of a group. Like, it's taking longer because I'm explaining things. So there we go. Leave. Let's take the word. Let's start with home. Home. Roam. Foam. Poem. Might only work if you're Scottish, I suppose. But it's a safe and home. A safe home. That's an Anthrax song, isn't it? Right, okay. Right, so there we go. That's how you would generate the ideas, right? But this is the next bit. This is the next bit when you start talking about couplets and rhyming schemes. Now, you can go on about this forever, like, and there's theories and classes and all that sort of stuff about how to do it right, but the basics is this. This is the way I explain it to people, or how I try and help them realise that it's not as complicated as what it sounds. This has worked for me to do it. So every word is syllables, okay? So say we take, a lot of these are 1 syllable words, but say we take even just the name of this, modern coin magic is modern coin magic, 5 syllables, right? So when you're writing a song, you want to kind of try, and this will change when you start putting melody to stuff, but what I try and do is keep it as simple as possible. So say you've written a line and you have 9 syllables in it. Either your next line's going to have 9 syllables in it, or it's not. Now, say for example, your first line has 9 syllables in it and your second line has 7 syllables in it. This is where the couplet comes in. So you would call this an A-B rhyming scheme, I think, right? But say we take like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, lost. And then your next word would be maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, sound kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And then the next time it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, cost. But that next line doesn't need to rhyme. Or it does. It just depends on how it goes, right? But the most important thing is be aware of your couplets, which are the words that rhyme at the end of lines, and how many syllables are in it. It should have a rhythm, and that'll make life a lot easier when you start trying to put a melody into things. And it's the main reason why I do the melody first, because that dictates how many syllables are there. And if I come up with 1 line, usually that's what the song's about. As soon as that first line comes out, and it's usually in a chorus, which we'll talk about later as well, work in the verses first. That's the best thing. Just keep writing stuff, and these things, the more you've got, the more these things will come apparent, and they'll just start to make sense. The more you do it, you can't do something every day and get worse at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, what I'm saying is, like, just keep doing it and it'll happen. It will happen. Just keep working on it, and you'll look back and you. That's why I write everything down, because if I go back to like my first book, like see this one here, this I had no idea why I bought this, but it's Jesus. I've seen just a book of Jesus and Mary, and I picked up. So these are like lyrics from me as a young guy, and this when I look back now, some of these are grim. When I look back now, you think, I know I'm lost because I found myself losing my mind, and I know it's gone because my neck's come detached from my spine. Teenage angst, much. That actually became a song in a band I was in years ago called Dirge. So it did. But you'll see, like when you look at it, bone, stone, peel, bleeds. Jeez. Maybe picked up the wrong book here. Ego. Oh man, I remember this song. Oft. Mental Bottle Blonde. Holy gee. Made. Oh man, remember that song? Please believe me when I say I'm a liar. There you go. Please believe me when I say I'm a liar. Basically, I've just made that. Every song I've ever came up with since then has pretty much been about that lyric. But keep it. What I'm saying is keep the stuff, because you'll look back and go, you'll see your progression. But you'll also see the things that you've done wrong, and it's good to make mistakes. It's really good to make mistakes. You don't learn anything by getting something right. Seriously, like you need to make. The only way to learn is by making a mess of something. Or not a mess, but being okay with being wrong. And it's a hard thing to do. That's just write it all down, basically. Right, so say I'm just going to take Lost and Cost. Right, one of the things I like to do is use cliches and things that people have probably said, because it makes, like if you look, take songs like, not my favourite band in the world, right, but Oasis, right, and you say, don't look back in anger, that's a saying. That's an actual thing that people say. So when someone says, oh, we've got this song called Don't Look Back in Anger, people automatically go, oh, I know what that means. So I kind of already have a feeling that this song's going to be about that, and it kind of sets the scene a bit. Whereas if Don't Look Back in Anger was like a 15-second thrash metal song, you'd go, that title doesn't really sound like the type of song that would be. So start to think about that, like themes. I theme everything. I'm going to do a shameless plug here, but all my stuff's on Spotify. Like I've got 3 albums and 2 EPs. All my stuff's there. Go and listen to it, and like if you want, I don't care. But like go and, if you're listening to it, you'll see that songs have themes, and I try and make the titles fit the sounds in the songs, kind of thing, which you'll do without even thinking about it. But anyway, right, it's going to be a long video, man. So say we take the word lost, right? We've got lost and cost. So say the word cost, at what cost, comes straight into my head, like at what cost. Like that would be a thing that someone would say, I suppose, if they were saying, but that's all very good, but at what cost? Like what's the negative things that are going to happen? You're not looking at that bit. So say we just take that, right, and we just write at what cost. Now that is 3 syllables. 1, 2, 3. See, I've even spelt what wrong. 1, 2, 3. All is lost at what cost. There's a line. Not a great line, but it's a line. It's a starting point. You have more time to do this, and you won't have to explain to yourself why you're doing it. So do your own thing. Try it and see what happens, right? And then we'll take home and Rome. So say Rome. I've wrote Rome as in, that's what I mean about my spelling. It's horrendous. I've wrote Rome as in the place Rome. I done that once at a group, and I wrote roll as in like a role model, but I wrote it like roll and slice, and a girl laughed at me for easy 20 minutes. She couldn't believe that I'd done that. It's an easy mistake to make, innit? So not Rome as in the place, we'll go Rome as in to roam the world, to go roaming, and home. Wherever, so there's a Metallica song, Wherever I May Roam. I think it's a cover. It's a cover of like an old country song, I think. Is it? I don't know. Should have googled it, in fact, but I think, right, so let's just keep it simple with the syllables. So all is lost, at what cost, where you roam, no way home. I mean, it's 4 lines. I'm not going to use them in a song. What the point I'm trying to get across through this video is just go make it. Just go try it, see what happens. Right? You might come up with something, and if you don't, you've started the ball rolling, right? And there will be a point that you don't need the book and things will just come into your head. That's it. That's how I write lyrics with groups, okay? It's funny. It's always funny. Like, you'll always get a laugh doing this. There'll always be something that happens and it's just funny. But let the embarrassment bit go. It doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. But use just the important things to take from this is the nature of chaos, how random things are. That'll work for you. If you overthink it or you pick words, it won't flow the same. But it will flow the more you pick. The more words that you do, the more you'll pick. The more you'll get, and the more you'll get, the more things will start to run into a vein. And it might be that you use this for the first verse or the first couple of lines and then you know where you are. Or it might be that you wrote something like this, all is lost, at what cost, where you roam, no way home, and you don't use that, but it starts you writing more stuff. Now, I've just used really basic syllables, right? But you could turn them into sentences. They could be the end of sentences, like when you feel all is lost and you don't know what the cost. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can turn them into. So that sounds better already. To be fair, it sounds like a gospel song. Like, and I love that sort of stuff, like Tom Waits and things. So, Nick Cave. Anyway, that is how I write lyrics with a group. If you're into music and not so much into English at school and stuff like that, you could probably convince folk, because this is creative writing. That is what it is. Don't let spelling and silly things like that get in your way. I certainly don't. That's it. Thanks very much for watching. Let me know in the comments if that helped. What we'll do in the next video is we'll start to use BandLab to create a song. So we'll program a drum beat. We'll talk about hooks, how I would do it, what I do when I'm writing songs and stuff, and we'll get a finished song by the end of this. So what would be really handy is if you come up with anything, post it in the group, post it in the Facebook group, the link's in the description, post it in. Maybe we could build a full song just using snippets of what other people have written. If we get a sheet of lyrics, we could maybe put a whole song together. There'll be lots of people out there who sing. We could get some stuff like that, and collaborate and make something happen. Yeah, that's it. Let's just end it there. So my name's Tragic O'Hara. You can get me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Hit the subscribe button. If you want to see more, what I really do, I do this, but one of the things that what I want to do is just make mad videos about things. So, like, for example, I've got a fish tank to paint. Can't really see that now, but I've got a fish tank to paint. I'll make a video about that. I'm going to do a big UV mural at my back door. I've done the Space Invader thing that maybe you've seen. So that's what these tutorials will be here, as well as that stuff. So hit the subscribe button if you want to see some of the mad stuff that I do, or some of the things that I do. And that's it, I think. Thanks very much. Oh, GoFundMe page is there if you want to contribute, but to be honest, don't swear it. Like, people are starting to get me in to do stuff now, and I'm starting to get commissions now again. Things are starting to settle, so it's not pressing. It's not a pressing thing. So I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. That's it. GoFundMe page is there if you want to contribute. If you don't swear it. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and also post up what you're coming up with in the group. Everyone's really supportive, so just post it up. Let's have a read. If you don't want to post it up, go to my Facebook page and DM me. Just hit me in there and let me see it. And if there's any advice you need or any of that, or if there's anything that came from this that you think you want me to expand on, just let me know. Alright, thank you very much. Catch you next time.